Organization నుంచి అన్ని మేడం. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the zoology first year class. Almost we finished the LAQs. The last lesson, one more LAQ, lake ecosystem is there. I will take afterwards. That is not that much that important only, but it is difficult. The supplementary students, that is not compulsory for learning. Last, it is the time is there. I will explain that lake ecosystem. Now we start one by one the SAQs. For lesson wise, we are taking the SAQs. In the first lesson, what SAQs are important, I am going to tell, and I will take that one. Here, see first. This one is diversity in living world. From the first lesson, the what SAQs are important, I am writing here. The species is important, various aspects of species, and the various aspects of species. This is the most important question. Next one is the genetic diversity. Next, reasons for greater biodiversity in tropics. Biodiversity in tropics. Next, evil quadrates. Biodiversity hotspots. Next, rivet popper hypothesis. You learn it. These all the questions easily. You can get one question. Most important is this one is species is the most important, and the reasons for greater biodiversity is the most important. And the evil quadrate last time it came, but that's why that is not that much. But the fifth is also important, and not the evil quadrate. Evil quadrate also important. The last time the rivet popper hypothesis came. These are compulsory. These four, the compulsorily you learn it, and the one by one we are taking, and I'll explain. Listen clearly, then only you can understand. First, I'm taking the first question: species and various aspects of species. Species. What is a species? You all of you, group of the organisms, group of the similar organisms, and they are reproductively isolated, and they are giving fertile offspring and interbreeding freely. That we call as species. Normally we call as a species means simply the similar plants or similar animals. That we call as a species. It is the basic unit of classification. Here, actually, it is the first. The species is the basic unit of the classification. What about the basic unit of the classification means? For example, length we are measuring with the centimeter and meters now. That is also unit, one unit. For the weighing, the grams and kilograms. That's why it is a one type of measurement is there that we call as a units. Here for the species also having the species is a unit for the classification. Inside of the classification, this is the one part, the species. Here is the what it is. First, it is the basic unit of classification. Basic unit of classification. Next, the John Ray scientist John Ray explained the species. Explained species as common descent of ancestry. Common. Explain on the basis of common ancestry. Species is a common ancestry. Here, next, this is about the species introduction. Next, the what is the various aspects of species? Various aspects of next, one by one, the four aspects are there. The first one is the species is a breeding unit. Breeding unit. The what is the main definition of the species means interbreeding similar organisms. They are in sharing common gene pool and giving fertile offspring is called as the species. Actually, the definition is the species. They are the interbreeding group of similar organisms sharing common gene pool, giving fertile offspring is called as a species. Actually, clear what it is? The interbreeding groups. Interbreeding groups of interbreeding group of similar organisms, same similar organisms. Otherwise, I'll write it here. Don't. Interbreeding groups. Interbreeding group of similar organisms sharing common gene pool and giving fertile offspring. Giving fertile offspring is called species. Actual definition is this one. Interbreeding group means they are reproductively. The interbreeding group of similar organisms, they can interbreed and sharing the common gene pool. The same common karyotypes they are sharing. That's why we call it sharing the common, sharing common gene pool means their same karyotype is present, sharing the common gene pool and giving the fertile offsprings. The similar organisms, the interbreeding similar organisms, they are sharing the common gene pool and giving fertile offspring is called as a species. The actual definition is this one. After that, we are going to discuss about the various aspects of the species. Species is a breeding unit. As it isolate reproductively with other organisms. For the reproduction purpose, they are separating. That is called as a breeding unit. Here, breeding unit means the species is a breeding unit. as it isolate reproductively, they can move from the other, means they can separate for the reproductive purpose. That's why the species is called as a breeding unit. Here, next is the species is a ecological unit. Ecological unit. As it's sharing common ecological niche. Common ecological niche means one place they are present. That's why we call it a means species is a ecological unit as it is sharing the common ecological niche. Next is the third one. Species is a evolutionary unit. As it evolutionary unit. As it has similar structural and functional characters. Structural and functional characters. These species animals are having the same structural and functional characters that we called as a evolutionary unit. Next, the last one is the genetic unit. Species is a genetic unit it has similar karyotype. Similar means chromosome number is same in all the organisms. Similar karyotype. Similar karyotype animals are grouping that we call as a genetic unit. Like this, various aspects we discuss about the 4 units. This one is important. Species is a breeding unit. Why we call it a breeding unit? Reproductively, they are separated from the other organisms. That's why we call it a species is the breeding unit. Breeding purpose, they get separated. Next, second is called as a species is the ecological unit. They are sharing the common gene pool. At a place they are present. That's why we call it the ecological unit. Next is the evolutionary unit. Why we call species is a evolutionary unit? Why means they organisms they are having the similar functions and similar structure and functions are present. That's why we call it the evolutionary unit. Next is the genetic unit. Means all the organisms inside of the species they are having the similar karyotype. That's why we call it a genetic unit. Here, this one is important, students. The definition is important. Interbreeding group of similar organisms sharing common gene pool, giving fertile offspring is called as a species. The species is the basic unit of the classification. And John Ray explained the species as a common ancestry. And what are the various aspects means the units are there. The 4 units, you write it here. These are headings are important. Just write this one. And the main breeding unit, ecological unit, the evolutionary genetic unit, you write it like this. Easily you can get 2 to 3 marks. If only this underlining lines you write it, you can get 2 to 3 marks. Clear? Next we are going to discuss about the next question, the genetic. Second question, genetic diversity. Genetic diversity means the differentiation. The genetic diversity, ecological diversity, species diversity is there. Here the important is the genetic diversity. What it is means inside of the species, the number of organisms are there. These number of organisms are having the gene. Between the gene, the change is there, the differentiation is there. That we call as a genetic diversity. Means same number. This one is a one species. Species means same similar organisms are present, but in the similar organisms, the between them, the genes inside of the genes, the change is there. That we call as a genetic diversity. Means this is the gene level, the diversity is there. Here between the where it is present, see difference between the genes in a species. In a species, between the genes differentiation is there. That we call as a genetic diversity. Here, for example, we are eating the means the wide range of the species there. Automatically, the genetic diversity will be high. Here, the space is more. The differentiation is also more. Next, we are taking the rice. We are eating the rice now. Rice is having the how many varieties are there means 50,000 varieties are there. Rice is only one species, but in this the number of varieties are there. That varieties are by the genetic variation only. Through the genetic diversity only, the different types of varieties are there. The rice is having the 50,000 varieties of the rice is there. For example, we are taking the mangoes. The mangoes are normally simply we call as the mangoes, but mangoes are having the 1,000 varieties are there. Like this, the same species, all the mangoes are same species, belongs to the same species only, but the varieties are different. Why means the genetic variation is there, when the genetic diversity is there. That's why they are having the 1,000 varieties. Like this, number each and every species having the varieties. The good example is the majorly the Rawolfia omitoria. Rawolfia omitoria plant. This Rawolfia omitoria plant we find out in the Himalayan range only. They are present in the Himalayan range only. Himalayan range, and these Rawolfia omitoria plant is producing the one chemical that is called as a razor pine. The chemical name is called as it is a medicinal plant. Actually, Rawolfia omitoria is a medicinal plant. This medicinal plant is producing the chemical that we call as a razor pine. This razor pine we are using for the treating of the high blood pressure. Here we are using for the high blood pressure. In the Himalayan range, number of plants are there. All the Rawolfia omitoria plants we find in the Himalayan range only. Means they are present in the Himalayan range only. Some, for example, this one the Himalayan range. This place some plants are present. This place some plants are present. But these plants are producing the razor pine. These plants also producing the razor pine. But the razor pine potency and concentration is different. In the tablet or in the any tonic we can take that in that they are mentioned the potency and the concentration. That here the razor pine is having the different type of the potency and concentration depending upon the distribution. Some are present in this region only. They are producing the, for example, 5 mg potency is there. For here it is having the 10 mg. Like this, the potency and concentration is different, but both of them are same plants, same chemical they are producing. But what is the difference means the potency and concentration is different. Potency and concentration. Here, this one is about the Rawolfia omitoria. This diversity is mainly depending upon the 3 factors are there: the distributing area, and also the alleles, and the depending upon the producing structures. Here, this one is about the genetic diversity. Is also important, simple one. Inside of the species, The same animals are there. The between the genes, the difference is there. The diversity means distribution. That is there. That we call as a genetic diversity. Good example is Rahulfia umeteria. Is a medicinal plant. It producing the chemical razor pine that we are using for the treating of the high blood pressure. And but these all the plants are not having the not producing the same concentration and potency of the chemical. Their difference is there. That we call as a genetic diversity. Clear? Next, reasons for greater biodiversity in tropics. Next one is all of you know this one. What are the tropics means? About the equator. Near the equator, the horizontal lines are there that we call as a tropics. Inside of the tropical region, the majorly the biodiversity is more. Means the more number of animals and plants are there. What is the reason we are going to discuss? Means in the tropical region, for example, this one is the Earth on the equator. Near the equator, here it is the poles are present, and the temperate region and the tropical regions are there. Inside of the tropical region, all the conditions are good. That's why the more animals and plants means biota is more in these places. What are the reasons we are going to discuss? First, the undisturbed conditions are there. First, the reason one. The inside of in the tropical region, the mainly undisturbed conditions are there. That's why they are having the long evolutionary time. They are having the long evolutionary time. It goes to the speciation, means different number of species will be formed. Undisturbed conditions are there. Automatically they are having the long evolutionary time. Automatically the speciation is occur. This is the one reason for the greater biodiversity in the tropic. Next one is the reason two. Here the climatic conditions are the constant and predictable. Here climatic in the tropic region, climatic conditions constant and predictable. Means we can the animal can identify easily next summer season, next winter, like that they can identify the seasons also. That's why the climatic conditions are constantly they are not disturbance in their climate is also the, for example, for the summer winter, like this they are maintaining. That's why climatic conditions are constant. Predictable means the animal can identify. That's why they are having the mainly the niche speciation is occur. Here they form it as a niche speciation is occur. This is a second reason. Here climatic conditions are constant and predictable. That's why they form the niche speciation. Next one is the third reason. The abundance of the food and water is present. Here the abundance of food and water available. That's why they are more species are occur, and the high biodiversity or greater biodiversity. The food and water is more, means they are growing the more number and form it as a greater biodiversity. Here they form it as a greater biodiversity. This is a simple answer. This will come easily. You can write the normally reasons means just undisturbed conditions. You write it reason. Undisturbed conditions is there, automatically evolutionary time is more, long evolutionary time is more, the automatically they undergoes the species is formed. formation of the species. Next, second reason, the climatic conditions are constant. Climatic conditions are not changed means automatically they are formed it as a the one group is formed. That's because the niche speciation is occur. And the third reason is more the food and water is available. For example, I'm saying the example, the Amazon rainforest. That Amazon rainforest is present in the South America. That is the biggest forest in it is the lungs of our planet also. Clear? That's why the example is the Amazon rainforest. Where it is present, Amazon rainforest is present in the tropical region only. This is present in the South America, and they are producing more number of, they are having the more number of species, means plants and animals are present in this. Clear? Amazon rainforest. Clear? Here, this is about the reasons of greater biodiversity in tropics. Next one is rivet popper hypothesis. What it explains means what the consequences occur, the losing of the species. Here, what the changes are occur, we are losing the species that explained in the rivet popper hypothesis. Here, the consequences occur, the consequences happen when lost some species. Some species we are lost, what the changes are occur, that explained in the rivet popper hypothesis. It is explained by the Paul Ehrlich. Paul Ehrlich explained this theory. Here, he taken the aeroplane as an ecosystem and explained how the species is important in the ecosystem. Clear? For example, the ecosystem means the aeroplane, take it as an ecosystem. For example, aeroplane is he considered as an ecosystem. Here in the ecosystem, the inside of the aeroplane, number of parts are there. That he called it as a rivets. Here, any small part, he called it as a rivets. Here the ecosystem, the instead of rivets, he called it as a species. Here, species is various species is compared with the rivets. Here, next he taken the for explaining of the ecosystem damaging, he taken the aeroplane as an example. Aeroplane he considered as an ecosystem. Inside of the parts that we call as the rivets, that is a various species. For example, inside of the aeroplane, we are removing of the bolt from the seat bolt. Seat bolt, example, seat bolt we are removing, that is the minor part, that is not major part. This is the minor part. Like that only inside of the ecosystem, the normal means the minor species we are removing. Minor species we are removing. Some damage will be there, but the gradually the damage will be there. But in the seat bolt, next here in the wing bolt, we are removing, that is the major part or critical part. Major part is there. That major part we are removing, that goes to the crash. Like that only inside of the ecosystem, the critical species is there. That critical species we are removing, automatically the total ecosystem will be damaged. Clear? See this one. This is the explained one theory. This one is the rivet popper hypothesis is the one theory. Inside of this, what the consequences occur, when we lost some species are lost, what the consequences are occur explained in this. Who explained this? The Paul Ehrlich explained this hypothesis. He taken the aeroplane as an example for explaining the ecosystem. The ecosystem he considered as a aeroplane. The rivets are the compared with the species. The minor part means from the seed they are removing. They are causing the damage is there, but the less damage will occur. And in the wing part, they are major part removing critical. That total plane will be crashed like that only. In the critical species are removing inside of the ecosystem, the total ecosystem will be damaged. Clear? Next. Evil quadrate. Means the four major are they damage the ecosystem. That's why we call as the evil quadrate. Four the main quadrate means four evils are damage the ecosystem. That's why we call as the evil quadrate. First one is called as a habitat loss and fragmentation. Under the habitat loss and fragmentation, the four reasons are there. First one is the deforestation. Second, conversion of forest land into agricultural land. Next, third one is pollution. Fourth one is fragmentation. Next, second, overexploitation. Need turns to greed. Need turns to greed. It results the overexploitation. Next, invasion of alien species. Next, last, coexistence. Here the habitat means the plants and animals, they are damaged. How they are damaged? That habit will be lost. That we call as the first one, habitat loss and fragmentation. Fragmentation means the land will be natural climalities. They are divided. The land will be divided into the parts that we call as the fragmentation. First, deforestation means the already we discussed the Amazon rainforest. That is before that. That is the 14% our on the on total on the earth. Now it is sorry, before that it is the 20% on the 20%. Now it becomes as a the more than not more than 14%. Here means like that we are cutting the plants and the using for the other purposes. That's why the deforestation is mainly causing the habitat loss. Clear? Next is the conversion of the forest land into the agricultural land. Forest trees will be cut off and that land is useful using for the agricultural land. For example, soya beans that is cultivated in the forest land only. They cut the forest and they grow the soya bean and grasslands. Clear? That is also one reason for the loss of the habitat. Next is the pollution. Here, pollution is also decline the decline the habitat loss. Mainly pollution, they are degrade the land quality. That's why they are also causing the habitat loss. Next one is the fragmentation. Already I said fragmentation means the major land is divided into small lands. That time also the habitat will be lost. That we call as a habitat loss and the fragmentation. Under the habitat loss and fragmentation, these headings you write it. One line you write it, it's okay. The deforestation means cutting of the forest and using other purposes is called as a deforestation, and the conversion of forest land means they are cutting and using for the agricultural land. Pollution means that also decline the quality of the land, and also the fragmentation means that divides the land into the number of parts. That time also habitat loss will occur. Next is the second one is called as a over exploitation, means the exploit exploding means we are taking the organisms or anything we are using more, that will be extinct. That we call as a over exploitation. Need turns to greed, that leads to the over exploitation. We are using more, that one means any helpful animals or plants are there, that we are using more, what will happen? Automatically they will be extinct. That we call as a over exploitation. Under this, the two examples are there. Stellar sea cow, passenger pigeon. Passenger pigeon. These two are for our purposes. We are using more, that we call it as a over exploitation. Means the need turns to greed, that leads to the over exploitation. Means the what will happen means the inside of this, the for example stellar sea cow, that is helpful to the human being. That's why we are exploring more. That time they are totally extinct. The over exploitation time, the stellar sea cow and passenger pigeon, now they are totally extinct. Clear? That is. Next is the invasion of the alien. New species is called as a alien species. We are introduced the new species to the natural habitat. That time natural organisms will die. For example, the Lake Victoria means there are some some fishes are introduced into the Lake Victoria. The alien species we are introduced inside of the Lake Victoria. Here, there in the native fishes are there. They are called as a cichlid fishes are there. They will be destroyed. Here, the new species is introduced into the Lake Victoria. Inside of that, natural fishes are there. All the fishes can destroy. That we call as a invasion of alien species. The one species we can introduce inside of the lake, the natives, all the animals will be destroyed. That we call as a invasion of alien species. Next is the coexistence. This is the means the obligatory. The mainly they are having the obligatory communication is there between the plants and animals. Plant is depending upon the animals. Like that, they are coexistence. One is survive, another one can survive. One is destroy, another means, for example, parasite and host. Parasite, obligate association between the two organisms is called as the coexistence. That is present between the parasite and host. What it is, for example, host is there, then only the parasite. The host will die, both will be die. Here, this one is a host, this one is a parasite. For example, the host is they die, automatically the parasite also die. Next, the second example is plant and pollinator. Plant pollinator. Plant and the pollinator. The pollinators are not there automatically. The plants they can't reproduce. That's why they will be die. That we call as a coexistence. Here, see this one. In the evil quadrant, the evils are there. they are the habitat loss and the fragmentation. Second is the over-exploitation. Third one is these headings are important in this, the invasion of alien species and coexistence. Under the habitat loss and fragmentation, mainly the four are there. They are the deforestation, conversion of forest land into the agricultural land, the pollution, and the fragmentation. Here, this one is about the Abel quadrate. Next. Next, we are going to discuss about the biodiversity hotspots. Mainly the hotspots means reservoirs. Biodiversity, we are reserving the one place that we call as a biodiversity hotspot. What it is means, inside of the biodiversity hotspot, inside of the biodiversity hotspot, we are reserving those are undergoes endangered, the animals, endangered animals or endangered plants. We are protecting the one place that we call as a biodiversity hotspots. Here, these are the biogeographical regions. They are the biogeographical regions. In these regions, what we means, the which one is undergoes the extinct or which one is undergoes the endanger, they are in the danger, that we are kept in the side of the hotspots. Means they are leads to the extinct, that we call as a biodiversity hotspots. Next, they are the geographical regions. The in the biologists identified the 34 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Biodiversity hotspots. Here means in India, mainly three are there. They are there. Indo-Burma, first. Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. Second one is the Indo-Burma. And Himalayas. Means throughout the world, by the biologists, they are identified the 34 biodiversity hotspots in the world. The inside of the India, in the three biodiversity hotspots are there. They are the Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, and the next one is called as the Indo-Burma and the Himalayas. Like this one is about the biodiversity hotspot. The mainly those are threatened. Those are threatened are there. Those are extinct. That animals, they are protected inside of the three regions. They are protecting. They are called as a which one the biogeographical. They are the national parks. Next one is national parks, sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, sacred groves. Just the names you write down. No need of the explanation. Just I'm explaining that one national parks means these national parks we are using for the protecting of the animals, protecting of those are endangered or extincted animals are protected in the national parks, and the sanctuaries means we are using the resources in that place and maintain the some animals means the protecting the endangered animals that we call as the sanctuaries. This is only here in this place. The national parks means we can protect the flora as well as fauna, but in the sanctuaries we are protecting only the fauna. Here, next is the biosphere reserves. They are minimally we are using the resources from the that region, and also we are protecting the animals that we call as a biosphere reserves. Next, sacred groves. This is only using for the flora. Means the religious plants are there. That religious plants we are protecting in these regions that we call as a sacred groves. Like this, the biologists they are storing or they are reserving the endangered and extinct animals. These are undergoes endangered. That animals protected like this. This one is called as a biodiversity. Biodiversity means the biota, that is called as a biogeographical regions. Here, this one is about the biodiversity hotspots. The what we explained, what we discussed before. I'll show one more time. The time is there. That's why what I explained. Species. Clear? Species is the simply basic unit of classification. This is the fundamental. Next, John Ray explained the species as a common ancestry. Next, the various aspects are there. They are the first breeding. Species is a breeding unit. That is a reproductively isolated, reproductively separate from the other organisms. Next is the ecological unit. That is, they are sharing the common ecological same place. They are sharing that we call as a that type of animals also called as a the species that we call ecological unit. Next one is the third one is called as a evolutionary unit. In this, all the animals are having the same structural and functional characters. That's why we call it as a evolutionary unit. Next, genetic unit. Why we call it as a species genetic unit? All the organisms inside of the species is having the same chromosomal number, same karyotype is there. That's why we call it as a genetic unit. This is the first question, species. Next one is the genetic diversity. Inside of the species, between the animal, the genes, the difference is there. That we call as a genetic diversity, and it is occur inside of the rice. Like this, they are having the 50,000 varieties, and other animals, other plants also means mangoes. 1,000 varieties are there, and the next major here in this the genetic diversity is compulsorily you mention it. This medicinal plant that we call as a Rauwolfia omitoria plant that is present in the Himalayan range only. Other places they can't grow here. That's why the Himalayan range that is producing the chemical. The chemical is produced that we call it as a razor pine. This razor pine is having the mainly the razor pine is having the difference. The same species, same plants, they are producing is also same chemical, but the potency and concentration is different. That only we call as a genetic diversity. Here, this one is about the genetic. The second question, and the third question, the reasons for greater biodiversity in tropics. In this three reasons, simply I am saying the undisturbed conditions. That's all. What it is, again you learn it. Undisturbed conditions cause which one? Long undisturbance is there, not disturbance is not there automatically. The evolutionary time is more. Evolutionary time is more means the speciation is occur. Next is the second reason. The climatic conditions are constant and predictable. We can imagine, we can identify the climate that we call as the predictable. That causes the niche speciation. Next one is the reason 3. In this place, the abundance of food is there, water is available. In this place only, the means what it is means tropical region. The the sun is the temperature is also suitable. That's why in this place the food is more. The plants, all the plants are there. That's why food is more. Water is more. That's why they causes the greater biodiversity. Here, this one is about the reasons for greater biodiversity. You learn it all these questions. One will be compulsory. Already I said which one is the most important. That important questions you learn it and practice this one. Here, next is the Rivet Popper hypothesis. Simple one. This one is the aeroplane. Take it as a example for explaining of the ecosystem. Inside of the ecosystem, we are removing any species. What consequences occur explained in this theory. Here, that is the how they taken means Paul Ehrlich. He taken the ecosystem as an example. The aeroplane is taken as a ecosystem, and the inside of the ecosystem, the parts are there. That parts he said that rivets. Rivets is compared with the various species here, and the inside of the parts, the seat from the seat, removing of the bolt. What will happen? The damage is there inside of the plane, but not minor major damage. It is a minor damage only occur here. Like that only inside of the ecosystem, minor species we are removing, ecosystem damage, but less damage is occur. In the like that only in the wing bolt, in the aeroplane major part, the wing bolt is removed. That plane will be crash. Like that only ecosystem, the critical species we are removing, the ecosystem will be damaged. That is about the Rivet Popper. Rivet means the part of the aeroplane. Rivet Popper hypothesis. Here, next. Will quadrate is four are important: habitat loss and fragmentation, over exploitation. These headings are important. You write it the headings and write one or two lines. They will give the at least 2 to 3 marks. That's why main headings you learn it. Here, habitat loss and fragmentation, over exploitation, invasion of alien species, coexistence. Here, next is the biodiversity hotspots. This is the last question. The biodiversity hotspot, those are endangered. Those are not, less number is there. For example, leopard, and the leopards are less number. That's why they undergoes the endanger. That animals are keep it in the one place. That we call as the biodiversity hotspot. Like that, number of animals which are undergoes endanger, that animals are keep it in on the one place. That we call as the biogeographical regions. The biologists identify the 34 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Inside of in India, only 3 biodiversity hotspots are there. They are the Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. Second one is the Indo-Burma. Third one is the Himalayas. Here, and this one is about the total SAQs of the first lesson. Among this, one will be compulsory. You practice, you learn it. This one. The next, we continue the second lesson in the next class. The same time, this class, the compulsorily you attend and you learn it. Tomorrow also in the second lesson, most important SAQs I am saying. In that mostly the 2 SAQs will come. We will discuss in the tomorrow's class.